Hello, true art believers, and welcome to the Mustache Show. I hope you're doing well today. Just want to say I'm doing pretty good. You know, one thing I just wanted to point out there, that true art believer intro, that is something from the past that I kind of just do habitually. That's something I've already been doing forever and ever. Um, it's a relic of many of my live streams. So whenever I do a video, I tend to just kind of drop that intro each time. And I don't know if it's really relevant for this podcast. And the podcast is called The Mustache Show, which is kind of funny because I when I started this podcast, or when I was working on my YouTube channel, I wanted to do I wanted to reinvent myself, or what's it called? Like when you relabel or rebrand. And I decided that I wanted to call it the Mustache Show because I had a pretty fierce mustache at the time. And I, well, it just never came to fruition. I just kind of like, what would you say? Is this thing working? Oh yeah, definitely. Shh, check. No, the rebrand never really happened, and the title's still there, but I'm just kind of like I'm just sticking to it because I don't feel like changing the name and or like thinking about it in a sense where all these like podcasts or YouTube channels or Rumble channels or any like social platform, they have like these cool titles or cool names to them, and I just don't know what to label myself. So like I just chose a title and a name and I kind of stuck with it. Otherwise it's just gonna be well, I don't know. It's gonna keep it that way. We're just gonna call it the Mustache Show until I decide to change it. Uh, I'm very, I'm very like I can't decide. I can't decide. So, which kind of comes to the point about like it has nothing to do with this particular podcast episode, but this particular podcast episode was going to talk about like doing things that you don't want to do. Um, but um, I lost my train of thought here. Anyways, analysis paralysis is what I was gonna jump into. There's there's this point where you want to do something and you get stuck in the like thought process or the thought phase or the idea phase where you're just kind of like, oh, this seems like a good idea, and then you overthink, you bludgeon the idea to death, where you don't even launch. You don't even do the thing that you want to do because you're stuck in like trying to find a sense of perfection in the idea. So when I had the idea of doing the Mustache Show podcast, I just kind of like, well, that sounds like a good name, I guess. And for a while, for a brief moment, I was thinking, okay, this might be a silly name. What would be another name of calling it? How would I title this podcast, or how would I just self title, like do my name, right? And I was like, I don't know. Should I do it? Should I not do it? And I just came to the conclusion that I should just stick to the original idea, and if it changes, you can change it later on. Um, because I'd rather keep moving forward than be stuck with this like, oh, this isn't the right title. Oh, my podcast doesn't have a theme, and I don't know what theme it should be. And the problem with that, where like I don't have like intense passions, I don't have like I have a passion for art, but I don't want to talk about art every day, and I don't know how I would talk about art. Most of my stuff that I talk about is kind of metaphors. It's like a metaphor for art, and that's how I view the world as like a metaphor for art. And I typically make a lot of analogies towards that, but not always. But what I wanted to talk about for this podcast today was, I know we're like 5 minutes deep, and like the first 30 seconds there's like a deep, like there's a long pause in between, right? There's like a really long pause. Um, I want to talk about doing things that you don't always want to do, or do things that you hate doing particularly, right? Things that are not fun, things that at the end of the day, you know in your heart of hearts that you should be doing, but you make like these excuses. And the simplest example that I am going to kind of address is working out. Now, I don't have like, I'm not like that those YouTube influencers that are freaking jacked, they're huge, right? They're like, oh, right? Because I'm not on was it Trenboline, I'm not on that. See, the fact that I don't know it means I don't I'm not partaking, but like, I'm not on any PEDs, so you're not gonna see. I'm not like the trend bros where you're like they're just super jacked guys, and they're young and jacked because they're on some sort of like special supplementation. You know what I'm saying? The special sups. I'm just I'm just taking my vitamins, eating my veggies, having 3 hearty square meals a day, and making sure I'm getting my macros and micros, making sure I got enough protein per pound of body weight. Please, most of those people are that you see on these platforms that are like trying to that have like 100,000, 200,000, half a million, or a million followers or subscribers on their channels. There, a lot of them are on some sort of supplementation that isn't legal, if you know what I'm saying. and and then like everyone that listens to them takes it as some sort of like as laws, like, oh, the Trent brothers have been they work out like 8 days a week, 3 times a day, and they're doing this and this and this, and like a bunch of very impressionable young lads are listening to them, and they're working out, and they're wondering why they're not getting the same gains as these individuals. And there's also a lot of just, I don't know. There's a big giant That's a big giant black hole that I could talk about, not in perpetuity, but like for an extended period of time. Uh, but I'll do a lot of metaphors or references to working out, um, because I feel that they're like life lessons. They're metaphors for life. And the reason why is because like when you work out, there's like a small handful of individuals that really like working out. They like, it really gets them. They're like, oh, I gotta work out. And it's like their literal stress release. It's their therapy. It's something that they look forward to at the end of the day, or at the very beginning of the day. They knock out that workout, they set themselves up. But like for me, I have to work out in the evening. I have to do some exercises in the evening, and not in the evening like, oh, like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock after work. No, it's like at like midnight. It's at midnight. I am going to the gym at midnight, and believe you me, I I do not want to work out at midnight. It sucks. Like, it sucks, dude. It sucks so much. I'm at work, and I'm like, oh, I know that after I get my job done and I clock out, I know that I am going to the gym, and I am like dreading it, dreading it. Like I don't want to do it at all. I look at I clock out, and there's a brief moment where I get in my car and I look to the left and I look to the right, and I'm like, to the left of me, if I go left, I'm going home. If I go right, I'm going to the gym. And I force myself. I force myself to go to the gym. Not like, like David Goggins. He's always like, go hard, oh, stay hard. Rah, 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 rah. I'm not. I don't know. I can't do a good David Goggins. David Goggins. I can't. I can't do a good David Goggins impression. I am sorry. Um, but he talks about how like when he was waking up early in the morning, like he's like super hardcore with it, but like he would wake up early in the morning and he would stare at his running shoes for like an hour, you know, because he didn't want to do it, and he knew that if he didn't do it, he would be beating himself up. He would be beating himself up all day long, just like subconsciously he would remind himself how much of a loser he was for not doing the goal that he set out for himself. And sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you have to like insult yourself a little bit, you know, because you can't always just like cover yourself with compliments. Oh, I'm great. I'm perfect. I'm amazing. Now that helps and all, right? But like with David Goggins, he does the reverse where he's like just every expletive, every negative phrase or words under the sun, he's shoving it in his brain because he has to do anything and everything to force himself. Probably not anymore. Probably not anymore. It's probably like second nature just to kind of go ahead and do these very tough things. But like at the beginning when he was first starting out, he was talking about how he was staring at those shoes and just like berating himself in his mind until he decided to put those shoes on and go out and do that run. Me, on a very micro level, I'm looking at the left, I'm looking at the right, and then I drink some water. I spill a little on my face right there. No, I spill a little bit on the face right there, and then I decide, just go do it. Just do it. Get it out of the way. You'll feel better for yourself. You'll give yourself like a subconscious pat on the back. Hooray, hurrah, you did something that you didn't want to do. And there's going to be days in your life, whether it be working out, whether it be your some thing that you have to do outside of work that you just don't want to do. Just do it. What happens when you do that is you kind of like you kind of make yourself stronger, right? You callous your mind. I think that I don't know if this is my idea, or I think I've heard this through probably like who's those other like super hardcore podcasters like I don't know. There's David Goggins, and then there's the other guy, the other military guy, super serious, you know, and he's super serious. Like he he'll get up in the morning and just work out every day habitually, whether or not it's good for you, right? Like sometimes, yeah, if you want to build muscle, man, if you're a natural like bodybuilder or weightlifter, you can't like go at it every day. You're not giving your body enough time to rest, man. You need your muscles need to like heal and then create the adaptation. Um, but that's a completely different topic. But like these guys, man, they're so hardcore. But there's gonna be days where you don't want to do things, right? You're not gonna be thrilled about it. And I don't know what that is for you, but for me, it's going to the gym and and doing the thing that I don't want to do. I don't want to do it half the time. Like sometimes I'm like I need to go to gym. I need to do something. I gotta do something physical with myself. I gotta I gotta get some physicality done for the day. And then there's other times where like it's already been 14 hours. My job's kept me out an hour and a half, 2 hours later than normal, and I'm like, it's midnight, and I'm going to the gym at midnight, which means I'm going to get there, half hour later, and which means I'm not going to start till about 12:45, which means I'm not going to get done till 1ish, 1:40, 1:30, right? And that's a very short, brief, intense workout. And I'm just like, oh man, I don't want to do it. And all I can say is you need to train yourself to do these things. And you'll get better at just accepting them as is. And you'll be able to do them without question, without thinking about it, without using any mental hard drive space. I think there's some terminology for that where it's like if you there's going to be times where when you make things habit, it becomes automatic and it takes less and less mental energy to transition into that activity, you know? And that could be like doing chores or practicing a craft. That could be like writing, drawing, painting, making music. And you'll find that sometimes when you're first trying to learn these new things, it takes a lot of like energy to get into that modality. And the more you do it, the less mental strain or mental fatigue it takes for you to get into that mode. And I'm finding that if you do that thing that you don't want to do, but you know it's good for you, you know it's good for you, you know you should be doing it, but you don't want to do it. You want to go sit back and chill on Netflix and watch the next big thing, right? And then you wake up the next day, you beat yourself up over the head, you beat yourself in the head, and you just get like you kind of like insult yourself for failing yourself, because that's essentially what you did. Is you had some sort of goal and you failed yourself, and you tried to make some sort of, you do some mental gymnastics to kind of make an excuse to why it is, when really you're just trying to justify the behavior that you don't want to have. You don't want to have this behavior, right? And so you're trying to like, oh, I was tired that day. Oh, but I had this thing I had to do. Oh, but it was past my bedtime. Oh, I don't want to get up that early to do that thing. I don't want to. I don't want to do it. And like what, like, well, if I wake up that early, then I'm not getting my 8 hours, and I can't do that, right? I got to have my 8 hours. I don't want to sacrifice my sleep sometimes. And it's, I get it, man. I get it. I get it. I totally understand. But you're not always going to have, there's no perfect day. There is no perfect day for any of this. Anything that you want to do, or any like dream that you have, literally there's no perfect day. If you're like trying to time it, you're trying to like perfectly, like let's say that it's like a jump rope, like a double, like was it double dutch or whatever it is, like they have those two jump ropes like, and you're trying to time it perfectly. You're like, okay, do I jump in? How about now? Jump in. Okay, jump. No, not ready. And you're swaying. Jump. No. And you're waiting to hop in the jump rope, and you have a line of people behind you because you just keep waiting, and then you don't do it, right? The point being is there's never a perfect time to do it, right? There's never like for me personally, there is never a perfect time to go to the gym. I don't have the perfect time. It's either early in the morning and I sacrifice sleep because I got to get up early, go to bed late, still get up early, or it's late at night, still wake up the same time, so I still sacrifice my sleep. There's no perfect time. And if you are trying to find the perfect time to do something with yourself, to pursue some goal, pursue some dream, it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. I love this quote from Rocky. Is it either Rocky 2, 3? It doesn't matter. One of the Rockies. Speaking of, I'm going to drink some water. This time, no water came off my face. No, right? There's never a perfect time to do the thing that you want to do. So, it's just never going to happen. For me personally, my personal experience, there's never a perfect time to do any drawing. There's never a perfect time to work out. There's never a perfect time to be doing this podcast. There's never a perfect time to be making a YouTube video. It's never going to happen. Like, the only official way that it would be the perfect time is if this was a full-time job for me. If I was getting paid to do this, or if I was getting paid to work out, right? That'd be the perfect time. But I'm not getting any of that. So what is stopping you? What is stopping me? The only thing that's stopping you or me is this. You're getting stuck in like the minutia. You're getting stuck in your head. You're trying to come up with some like excuse to why you don't want to do that thing. And there is no excuse. The only excuse is you defeating yourself. You are defeating yourself on pursuing whatever dream it is. All these YouTubers that are trying to promote this idea, I totally agree to some extent. Some people are trying to pitch some sort of like class or some sort of like course or whatever. But I totally forgot. What I was going to talk about. I was talking about Rocky. I think did I even bring it up? The quote from the Rocky movie was when who's the guy that Rocky beat or lost to? He wore like the American flag pants. Was it Atlas? Olympia? Apollo Creed. So Apollo Creed's like, there is no tomorrow. And that's true. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. All you have is now. Right? You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You have now. And now is the time that you have control on what you choose or choose not to do. If you want to like get in shape, if you want to like learn the piano, if you want to learn a new language, if you want to spend more time with your family, if you want to make better relationships with your friends, etc., 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 don't squander it on Netflix. Don't squander it on all those TV shows, right? Don't squander it just like whatever you're doing that's wasting your time, that you know in your heart of hearts is wasting your time, and you're not fulfilling your potential to whatever it is. And to some degree, I'm at fault as well. I'm not perfect. I do have the same issue, but I'm trying. That's the thing. I am trying to constantly be a slightly better version of myself, and I'll backpedal. Definitely. I'll go 2 steps forward, and I'll go 3 steps back, and I'll go 4 steps forward and 2 steps back, and I'll just go back and forth, back and forth. But the thing is, you kind of like just slowly move up, right? You're moving up in that ladder, and that is better than just like thinking about it. I was talking to a friend of mine this morning. And there was this person that was there's a podcaster, a YouTuber. I don't remember his name. I never remember their names. I know like a handful of people, like, and the other people I listen to, I don't remember because it's not like they're saying their name every 5 seconds, you know. And he was stating that a lot of individuals the mere thought of doing that thing ignites the same dopamine response as actually doing the thing that you want to do. So the mere thought of pursuing your dream is almost tantamount or equal to actually doing or following through with your dream or some weird like personal goal. So like just thinking about like, oh man, I'm gonna get in shape. I want to get in shape. And you type it out to like you put it out on the webs. You promote yourself. And you say, hey, I want to get in shape. And all your friends and family members say, man, good on you. We're proud that you're trying to make yourself the better you or lose weight and get in shape. And then you get all these feelings like, oh, I feel so good now. I feel great. And then that feeling itself is it's like the same feeling as actually achieving the goal. And then you get the same feeling and you don't even do the thing that you set out to do. And oh, it's tricky, dude. It's tricky. It is a tricky thing. Oh, you tricky dreams. Oh my gosh. Man, you're making me feel like I've actually achieved my dream, achieved my goal, and I haven't even done it. I haven't even done it, man. And that goes back to like doing things that you don't want to do every day. Make it a habit of doing things that you don't want to do. And pretty soon when you do that thing that you don't want to do, it becomes, as I said, it becomes a habit. It becomes like just automatic. You automatically do it regardless of whether or not you feel like it. And don't get me wrong, I backpedal. All of us kind of fall back sometimes, and we'll have that happen. And that's okay. That is okay to have that occur, right? It's okay to fail. It's okay to fail. We we look at failing as a negative in this society. I don't know about other countries or other like yeah, I don't know about other countries. I don't know how they view failure, but I know here it's read as a negative. No one wants to fail, right? So almost with like because a lot of us set up this idea, I said idea. You know what? Let me tell you, I always like sometimes I mix up words and kind of put them together, right? And when I'm teaching, I'll teach it when I'm teaching my classes. I'll do that, and a little self-deprecating. I'll point it out to the class, like, because that's kind of funny. Like, just acknowledging that you're flawed and making mistakes in front of your classes is humbling to them. It humanizes you a little bit, and it makes at least I think it makes you more endearing. Maybe I don't know, but a lot of us are so scared of even trying that we don't even want to do. We don't even want to pursue a goal, you know, or we make excuses for ourselves. I hear a lot of my friends and a lot of my coworkers and anyone else, like there's people I talk to, and I love them. They're good people, right? They're like, and this is not a reflection on them, right? A poor reflection, you know, because I've been there, and we all have our own demons to deal with. But a lot of people, and I'm using them as reference, not because uh, they're specific. You know, this is pretty much this is a lot of people. This is not just them. This is everyone. This is me included. We make excuses. One of those excuses is like I don't have time, and I agree. I agree. Right? Most of us don't have time. There isn't the time. There is no time. I mean, if you're like the average person, you're working 40 plus hours, especially now, you're working 40 plus hours, either at work or some sort of side gig or as being a parent, you're working 40 plus hours each week, right? Where's the time to do that? Where's the time to do anything of value, anything that is going to make you a better individual? Where is the time? No, see, hey, you. Oh, wait. Let's see what before we begin. What's this one do? Hey, where do you think the time is? I'm asking you. This is kind of cool. It's got like a weird rhythmic voice. I feel like I'm in a Daft Punk. Like this is the audio. This is the audio for a Daft Punk. Daft Punk. Daft Punk. It's like the audio for a Daft Punk song. Daft Punk song. So occasionally I like to use these little audio, these voice changers, but that I don't know what I was going with that one. I don't know where that was going at all. But like, I don't even know where it was going because I already lost train of thought. Oh my gosh, that's what sucks about these podcasts is like I do them with no editing, which is a positive and a negative. It trains myself. It trains myself to learn how to talk for an extended period of time. I think that's a skill that people should have. Be able to talk for an extended period of time and make you a better individual. So like these podcasts in itself are kind of like checking off some personal goals for me. Um, but anyways, I digress. I don't know where I was at. I think I was talking about like failing and how we're so scared that we don't even want to take the first step. And if even if that is not the case, even that was not where I was going, this is where I'm going now, right? But like, gosh, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest with you. These podcasts are almost like how when you drive. There's some science based stuff of driving where like you literally do not remember yourself driving. Like after a while, it becomes automatic. You don't remember the drive home like in detail because you're like on autopilot, right? Which is a bad and good thing, I guess. Like imagine if you were like just taking in all the information as is when you're driving, you'd be over like you'd have stimulus overload, right? But like, um, so it's a bad thing because I forget like the last points that I have. I think maybe in the future I'll have to like write down little like this is what I was talking about like 5 seconds ago, so I can look down. Um, or another thing that I could do is I'm doing I'm kind of like giving myself a self critique on a podcast. It's, how can I criticize myself on this one today? Well, one of those things I could do is I could have an outline, just something to kind of like look at and refer to, and I never do. I just kind of like spitball it. It's just one giant rant, really. That's what these podcasts are, is me kind of ranting. Isn't that though? For to some extent, that's what almost all podcasts are, is like a giant just ooh, some paper fell down. Come back up here, paper. Isn't it just like one giant rant? You know? Pretty much. It's just like you're conversing to yourself. Um, but a lot of us don't even want to take the first step. A lot of us are so scared to do that. We're so scared of failing, having hiccups. Like we make we're so scared of failing, making mistakes. We're afraid of making mistakes. We're afraid of what your friends and family will think about you, how they will like think of you. Like, and oftentimes there's some real legit reasons for that because imagine Imagine you 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 set out to lose weight. Let's say that you're like really heavy. You're really heavy. You're like 300 pounds. Your knees hurt going up the stairs. You're out of breath. Your wrist and shoulders ache. Your back hurts. You know, you have maybe you have like a hard time breathing, a hard time breathing at night as well when you're sleeping. You know, maybe you have severe sleep apnea, right? Imagine that you have all these problems and you tell your friends and family, "Hey, listen, I am on a journey. I want to lose some weight. I'm not happy with myself. I feel I'm really heavy. It hurts to walk. My ankles, my knees, my hips are sore. I'm concerned that I could have a heart attack or I could have some sort of health problem because it's just too much of a strain on my heart, right? Imagine that you tell your friends and family that you're gonna set out to do some sort of workout. You're gonna work out 4 to 5 days a week, and you start eating more healthy, or you at least start consuming less calories, or looking at what is going in your body, and you start losing weight. And at first your friends and family are cheering you on and cheering you on. They're really happy that you're taking initiative, and then pretty soon the weight just starts melting off. You start losing more and more weight, and pretty soon you're 250, 200 pounds. And what if you get down to like one 180? What if you get down to so light that you're like actually showing visible abs? And then like that, it becomes like all your friends and family from what was once uh actual, they were cheering you on and compliments, becomes negative. Now they'll the way they view you is like this health guy, and they'll be like, "Oh, you don't want to go out with us anymore because you can't eat that stuff or whatever." And they will this doesn't always happen. I'm talking about hypotheticals, and this happens to a lot of people. So I'm just not making up a fake uh, 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 storyline here. This happens, right? Um, where you might lose friends, because like now those friends have to look at themselves and say, how come I'm a little overweight, and my friend just lost a person, and I'm struggling, and I don't want to look at myself at the mirror and confront my problems or how I feel. So the only thing I can do is project to that individual. And that could be like that's the same as like someone who drank a lot, or was a social drinker, and or partied a lot, or maybe even an alcoholic, right? Maybe they were an alcoholic, and then they decide, I am going to stop drinking, and you find out that all your friends that you thought you were friends were only your friends so long as you would drink with them at a bar, or go out with them on a social setting. But the moment you stop drinking, they don't want to do anything else with you, because the only like venue that you hung out with them or had a social experience with them was at a bar or in a social setting where there was alcohol involved, and then you lose those friends. Or there could be another thing could be, say you start a business, and your friends and family, and maybe even some possible customers, um, support you at the beginning, because you're like, oh, we're gonna give you our business because we want to support small businesses. And then say you become successful, right? You become successful, and all of a sudden those people that were there at the beginning think you're this big shot, and really is nothing has changed. Just you have either made a successful business, and you're like the same person. You just pursued your goal, and all of a sudden those friends, those customers, those family members that you thought were on your side are not on your side anymore, because now you're doing better than them, or now you're inadvertently like putting a mirror on themselves, and they see you achieving something that they might on a basic subconscious level achieve, but they don't want to do it because it means they have to look at themselves and address their deficiencies as a human being. And that happens. Everyone does that. Everyone has that moment, right? Where you have to look at yourself and point out your flaws, right? And I've had that. I've had that happen. There was once I weighed like, oh, I don't know how much I weighed, but I know I weighed like 250 at one point, and it wasn't muscle. It was a pretty like it was 250, and like I know I have a fat face right now, but like this camera makes my face look like rounder than it really is. Or at least I think it does. I feel like it rounds my face more. It really does add like 10 pounds. Oh my gosh, on the face. No, like I was heavy. Now like I weigh 200 now, but I ballooned up to like 250, maybe even higher than that, and I was fat. Like my knees hurt. Like it hurt, like my knees were hurting. I had like my back's hurt. I had swelling issues. So, I know what it's like. And I lost like 70, 80 pounds. I probably went down to 170, 180. I don't know. I lost a lot, and then I gained it back. I put on some muscle afterwards, but like I know what it's like. I didn't have like the negative feedback from friends and family. They were happy that I lost weight. I remember when they saw me after a long time being gone because I was out of state and I moved back. They're like, "Man, dude, what happened to you?" Uh, chicken sandwiches. Chicken sandwiches. McDonald's dollar menu. There's like I would be late at night and then go to McDonald's dollar menu and like I just buy like $20 worth of McDonald's dollar menus. Oh my gosh. Uh and it caught up to me in a big way. But I didn't have that negative feedback loop or that positive feedback loop I didn't have that feedback loop where people were cheering me on at the beginning and then like turned their backs on me or shunned me because then I shined a light on them. Um, there's I was lucky and blessed in the sense that I had people that were very they pointed it out and they're like great job, but some people they get the opposite. They'll get the cheers and accolades at the beginning, and especially when they start seeing some results either in fitness or whatever else what things they're pursuing. Um, and then they'll get the negative feedback later when I don't know if you heard that, but my stomach's grumbling. It's like, eat something, no, right? Um, but some people get that negative feedback later on, and it's disconcerting and it's hurtful. And then you learn like who your friends are, Um, a lot of people that drink, they quit drinking, they get off the wagon, and then they get off the drinking wagon, and they find out that the friends that they had weren't their friends, or someone starts a business or seeks some sort of self improvement. I don't. That could be anything, right? And then they find out that in the end, most of these people that were supporting them really didn't want you to succeed, or they wanted you to succeed. They wanted you to succeed so long as your success did not surpass themselves, so long as it didn't surpass them, right? People don't like to see that. They like seeing it, but they don't like it. It's kind of weird, right? They want you to succeed, but once it happens, sometimes there can be like negative, like negativity, like you know, people want you to go to the gym and get in shape, but if it so long as it doesn't disturb their lifestyle or their time, and that kind of sucks, right? That sucks. But anyways, I digress. It just turned into like some weird, just a long, protracted like rant about achieving your goals and doing things that you don't want to do. And hopefully we're about to wrap it up. I think there's going to be a summarization here. And so in summation, what was it? In summation. Well. What's this one do?
In summation. We're all having fun here right now. So, oh gosh.
So in summation, you're gonna have days. You're gonna have in summation. You're not gonna have time to do the things that you want to do, or do the things that you. In summation, to summarize, when you have things that you don't want to do, but you set like things that are pertaining towards your own like goals or pertaining towards some sort of like measurable outcome, you know, you're going to have times where you don't want to work out or you don't want to do it, right? I'm using my workout reference on everything right now, but you need to do it. It's like, what do you have to lose? What when did we come to this point where like we think our time is more valuable than it is? Like, you're not Elon Musk, right? You're not Jeff Bezos, right? It's not like you're literally getting $1 million a minute, the average person thinks that their time's more valuable, and so they put a high like price tag for their time, and they don't want to do things that for like weird, like they don't want to do certain things because they don't have time, and they're like they make excuses for themselves. Like, you don't want to do, like, most of us don't want to do those things. Most of us, me too. I don't want to go to the gym at 12 o'clock at night, midnight. No one wants to do that. No, I'm not like waking up at 7 in the morning, like, I can't wait till midnight. I really can't wait till midnight and go work out. Sometimes I look forward to it for a while. I will look forward, like, I'm going to work out. I'm going to work out. It's going to be good. But remember why you're doing this. You're working out to make yourself a better person, right? You're doing this to make you to increase your energy levels and so that you have more energy throughout the day, right? But and just to have just be more physical, right? Because we have to. But like, I went on a big tangent again. So really to summarize, there's gonna be things you don't want to do throughout the week, throughout the day, and you'll find yourself making excuses, and you'll make these excuses for yourself. But all I can say is dig deep, do that thing that you've been trying to do for yourself. And that could be anything, like setting up a daily, oh man, that's what happens when I talk a lot is I get like gassy. I don't know what I'm talking about. But anyways, doing those things that you know that you should be doing. You know it's a net good. You know that it's valuable, right? And I'm going to default to exercise because that's always an easy like low hanging fruit for an analogy. Is like when you don't want to work out, that's the time that you should work out, right? And I do that or try to remind myself every time after work. I'm like, okay, it's 12 o'clock at night. Gosh, it would be so easy to get home, sit back on a recliner like this. Oh yeah. sit back on that recliner and just kick the leg thing up. You pull that little trick, that little handle, and you kick your feet up and just like veg out and watch a show. And I say to myself, that'd be so easy. That'd be so easy, right? So freaking easy to do that. It would be so easy. And I have to remind myself how easy that is. And I have to remind myself life isn't easy. Life's going to make it hard on you. If you want to make if you want to make life easier, you got to do those hard things. You know, you got to do the things that you don't want to do. You got to there's a book called Eat That Frog. You got to eat that frog. And that could be like some people don't want to do something as simple as like taking the trash out. Eat that frog, take that trash out. Some people don't want to make their beds. Eat that frog, make your flipping bed, dude. Make your bed, right? And I do that too. Like I don't want to make my bed. I'll make my bed though, when I get time. Like sometimes I get kind of preoccupied, but I'll make the bed, whether it be 7 in the morning or 7 at night. I'll make that bed and do those things that you don't want to do. You'll become a better person for it. You'll become stronger. It'll become easier to do. It'll become part of who you are as an individual, a person that does things whether or not they like doing it. Because there's gonna be things that you like doing that you don't want to do every day, right? Me, I like drawing. I love it. Some days I don't want to draw at all, man. I don't want to do anything because life, I think all of us feel it, right? Life beats you down, right? You had a long day at work. You had a stressful situation with someone, and you just want to kind of like go the easy route, do nothing, sit back, take take long naps, and then you're back at square one where you're hating yourself. You're hating yourself for not doing something of value. I think a lot of us we go about our lives and we're sad. We're sad because we know that we should be doing something of value. And most things that are of value, that most of those things that you feel that you should be doing of value, you don't want to do them. You don't want to do them because it's hard, man. It's hard picking your legs up, picking yourself up, and doing those hard things. It's hard to do them, but they're valuable. They have value, you know. Anyways, before I go to another tangent, I think that's it for the podcast. I think I've nailed the head. Now I'm just hitting the hammer on the wood because the nail's already in the wood, and I'm like, oh, let's sink it. Let's get a countersink on there. And you get one of those little like sink nails, and you just and pretty soon you're hitting that nail so far it's going to go through the back. I think I've already kind of uh, beat the idea so much that it's just there's nothing left. Like I don't know how much more I can kind of filibust this idea, but I think I'm done for the day. I think the idea has been explained in enough analogies and metaphors and gone in different tangents and I don't know what other ways to explain it. Like I think I'm done. I'm done. I think this podcast is over. How about you? But anyways, if you like this content and if you like hearing me rant about randomness, don't forget to man, dude. I always do this. I always get a little like tongue tied when I say subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget that. Don't forget to follow or subscribe, whatever platform you're listening to this, and or watching. I kind of just drop it in all these different platforms because you never know. Anyways, that is it. I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. This is the Mustache Show. Cheers. Cheers. I'm gonna do the little voice thing. Goodbye. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful day.